How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Happy Monday. It is Monday. And we got a stream. I asked people if they wanted to stream, and just over 50% said yes. It's like, oh, wow. That was not pumping me up at all. I didn't expect 100%. I didn't expect 90 and 80%, but boy, I was sweating it for a minute. I mean, I was going to go live anyways, but I was kind of getting the pulse, and the pulse was meh. So, as I've said before, when we are not up only, I feel like the most like streaming, most motivated. I don't know what's going to happen when we do get up only. Like that's going to be just you're going to see some dancing. You're going to see some even kinder words. You're going to see some kumbaya. May even see a glory run. That's what I'm looking forward to. So let's get into it. Chat, appreciate you all. Won't get too much today. Only got about 30 minutes. Going to go quickly and talk about a lot of stuff. So let me present my screen real quick. Post this the other day, and I was doing some research too on the different outlets and stuff reporting on RH and the victory and the lack of accuracy around it and the it's just jurisdiction type of thing. So a million times jurisdiction and merit. And this is the one too. AI was helping me come up with this around, everyone thinking, it's the, the haters and everyone who doesn't care to look into it much. It's dismissed on a technicality, just technicality. Literally, dismissal for failure to state a claim. Significant. It means the court found that even if all the SEC's factual allegations were true, even if it was all true, which they probably were not any of it true. Even if they were, they failed to establish a valid legal claim. This is indeed a ruling on the merits on the case, not merely a jurisdictional technicality. Now, if you don't know much about that in the last couple of years or so of all the things happening in the case and the case being brought, it's like August 1st, July 31st or so, 2023. There was a big hearing in October. A lot of people showed up in the courtroom, a lot of people in the community, and it really got to be this thing of like, why is this still happening? Why is it still going on? There's nothing there. And then the judge dismissed it. Long story short, judge dismissed it. And then I think they asked for time to appeal, and then they didn't appeal. And then now we're coming up on 60 days. In a couple weeks or so, it'll be 60 days where I guess they won't be able to appeal, even if they wanted to. Not that they're going to in the first place. A lot of people are suspecting that's when Richard will be more free to stream. That's when he'll want to do it. He has been working out. He has been working up to this. You could speculate as well. So we'll see. There's still Interpol, which again, I've touched on a million times about how that could easily go away based on some literally basic tax structure stuff. And we all know that's both of these were just sham cases in the first place. I'm starting to get in a political prosecution range. I'm starting to get into this like, hey, can you just stop trying to get this guy on something? He didn't do anything. He's pretty cool. He could be a hero. And he had a community of people ready to go in the offense instead of going on defense. We've been on defense for a while. We were on offense. We're winning hard. 10,000X era, the first 10,000X era. Maybe we get another one for HEX. And even back then, the criticism was crazy. And the government decided to bring a case and got dismissed for lack of personal jurisdiction and failure to state a claim. Both of those very important. Those are misgranted. So the euphoria, the relief, all the amazing stuff that happened from that. I mean, a lot of the criticisms come from his just. The whole time, I don't know. Like people were just talking about like, oh, is he gonna settle? Is he gonna get dismissed? All this stuff too. It was like, oh, because they're securities, or he ran an ICO, or he spent investor money and all this stuff. Again, this is not the first time we've seen this stuff. If you go to even back then, if you haven't seen the legendary battle with lawyers, Richard for hours, 6-8 hours or so. Yeah, I think it's the Bitcoin Law Review by Tone Vays. Hours. This was 6 hours. I think there may be another part or other clips and stuff too. But Richard went on with 2 or 3 lawyers. I'll just like skip to, yeah, these guys. And the whole time, just like, hey, tell me why this is bad. Tell me why I'm doing something wrong. Like there's no, cease and desist. I'm not going to preemptively cease and desist, all that stuff too. If you haven't watched it, it's really fascinating. And especially back then. And the whole time, again, no expectations. I don't work for you. You're not investing in a company, like all that stuff. And even the courts held it up, right? Even the courts, this dismissal was a huge, huge win and a huge vindication for Richard, for the projects. We'll see if it, I don't know if it'll set official precedent or not for other crypto cases and stuff too, but it is a win for freedom. It is a win for being able to innovate and create things and do all these interesting structures where you can have someone who is like, hey, let's get involved in something, let's participate in something, and we're accountable for this, and we're not waiting for somebody to do work for us, and we're not, it's not security. So when it comes up and people, still talk about security or all these things, it just doesn't make any sense. And that was the biggest thing. Like the whole time it was like, oh, SEC. I think it was like, I remember like the whole FUD SEC thing, and it was like, all right, just go away. And then it happened. It was like, whoa, like that's great. I mean, I remember, there's been so many different pieces of this too. There's the Hexicans getting subpoenas and stuff like that, asking like, did Richard pay you and all this stuff. They couldn't find anything. How could anybody be confused or not bullish on this man after? I think we underestimate the victory for the SEC. It's not just a victory for that case. It is all the criticism, all the stuff that's happened, all the case, all the people. You're getting paid. Like he must be paying. Like no, people are doing this because they have aligned interest and they want to win. So they go out of their way. All the people spend their money. And I don't monetize. I do all this stuff. I go out of my way to talk about this place, show people, tell people what I believe, not give any financial advice, and just present a better product than a lot of stuff out there, and a better system, and a better, if you like go into Scivive and stuff, like, be a better version of yourself. Like I get into, like, I love being the best version of myself type of thing too. So there's so many benefits and so many ways that this case just turned all the criticism inside it. Like there's nothing left. There's no criticism. He won, right? Like we won. So unregistered security stuff, again, there's no legal merit. There's no case. There's nothing. They basically said that like he didn't say anything he did like illegal. There's nothing, wrong that happened there. So that operating illegally, all this stuff too. Projects will be shut down by regulators. Someone's going to come in and be like cease and desist and shut it down, all this stuff. You're going to shut down the blockchain? Like again, we're a fork of Ethereum for PulseChain, for example. You interact with HEX. You mint the coins. You burn them. You mint them. You buy them. You sell them. You are the one pressing all the buttons. How could something be? Again, this is so underestimated. I think people just they don't appreciate because the price they bought at is lower than the price it is, or that it is today for many people, or they had all these expectations, or they had all these things they expected ours to do or act like or perform or whatever. You're participating in a system that is amazing. Like it's so much better than all this stuff out there. So I think that just goes, all these things, again, SEC was just, it is like this, the tip of what to know about this ecosystem, as far as it's how awesome it is and how, again, puts you control of your keys, not your coins, all the greatest hits on that too. You've heard a million times too, HEX is a Ponzi scheme. Compared to what? What are you comparing it to? Comparing it to Social Security? Or comparing it to, any other thing where you buy something and you hope it goes up in price and another person thinks it'll go up even more and you sell it to them when you're ready? Or you just hang on to it because, you think in the future, more people are going to want it. And, if it goes up and down, you're not really concerned about it because if you're staking, you're making the APR. If you're holding, however you do it, like it just stuff makes it like there's nothing Ponzi about it. Like every time, even as community. I'm trying to give you all some nuance that I don't think you probably hear that often too. I want more people to come in this ecosystem. Now, when they come in, how does that benefit me? How does it benefit anyone who's already a participant, who already has a bag and all this stuff too? You want the place to grow, right? And yeah, do you want them to buy? Yeah, you could say, do you want them to buy your bags? Isn't that like every single thing ever? You want to be like, okay, I made the right choice. I took on the risk. I did the hard work first. I did the research. I did all this stuff. I bought the thing. It did well. And now the next person, hope it does well for them too. It doesn't have to be this dump on your head type of thing. That's just people just, again, get confused with this negative, framing for all this stuff too. But it's, again, so there's hope more people come in so they can buy the coins. So the price goes up, and the bid for that is, 10,000x there. Like, we want all that stuff, right? You need, but even like, think beyond that, think beyond the price, think beyond all those coins and stuff like that. In any community, in any place where you want it to thrive, you want it to get better, you want it to go up, you need people to keep onboarding. You need people to keep coming in, again, where they put their capital aside with their ideas. Maybe there's people who come in who want to build on HEX with ideas that we've never seen before, or no one's ever did before. You want people to come in who can start streaming more, right? I don't want to be the only one. I don't want to be one of the 5 people who stream regularly. I don't want to be the only person tweeting and posting and engaging and conferencing and all this stuff too. It's the strength of the community is built on being able to show people that the place that they go to eventually, maybe not immediately, delayed gratification, all that stuff. Maybe not like when in a bull market, everyone's like, oh, we're just making money left and right. There's a place to put your time, your energy, everything even aside from capital in, and get a return for feeling like you made a contribution, get a return and making yourself be, what else better is there to do? Like there's only a few things in life that are just like amazing things, right? I don't think that even people in the community now, and many of them on the outside looking in of like, oh, that's a hex scam thing, I'm not going to do that, don't appreciate being a part of something amazing like this. And it doesn't always need, something amazing doesn't always need to feel that way. Like, again, we already, you go on and on, hex not a Ponzi scheme. We need more people to actually keep the thing, like literally keep the thing going, right? Like, what does the thing going mean? It doesn't, like that phrase is so used in so many different scam stuff because you've seen all the different, stories of people, investing and just like borrowing from the next one and all this stuff too. In any community, you need more people. You need more ideas. You need more products. You need more builders. Some people are going to leave, some people are going to go, but it doesn't, like, it's not this thing where it's like, you're always going to be going up and to the right. Like, again, Richard's a master marketing guy. He's probably a polymath. He's probably a super expert in all these different verticals, but you need to sell people on the product and let them draw their own conclusions. And again, he's not making all these promises. He's telling you it doesn't work for you, all this stuff. If you draw the conclusions and then set yourself up to be disappointed in the end, again, it's all on you. Like that's the DeFi thing. And I don't want to say on you as in like, oh, you made all these mistakes and all this stuff, but there is this personal accountability. There is this, hey, things aren't always going to go well, but I believe I'm in a place that is going to thrive, and it's not always going to be up only. So I think calling it a Ponzi is just like a cheap trick these days too. PulseChain's like, a copy paste, no innovation type of thing. I think, I would think outside the technical pieces on that. And I mean, there's so much to go into for that, but again, I don't want to deep dive into that piece too much, but cheaper, faster network, blah, blah. I think the most important thing is starting over from the beginning. Again, getting a fresh opportunity like Ethereum had. Ethereum did what the famous 14,000x, all that stuff too. And actually being a copy affords us a lot of interesting, inheritance from, if Ethereum's not a security. And even the way the sacrifices were, again, a lot of regulatory clarity around that. So I think that's super interesting. I think that's a huge, awesome piece to it that goes underrated. Of again, the framing is if everything is supposed to be a criticism and everything is supposed to be a negative frame, then of course, oh, why did it take so? You remember when PulseChain didn't launch for a long time? Like, I think it's, I don't know, if you want to go back to the criticisms of 2 more weeks and 2 more months, it's close, all that stuff. There's a whole video that goes through a lot of that too. But I don't think just saying, oh, it's just a fork of Ethereum. I don't think the PDI narrative, not PDI narrative, again, that's like the most famous copyright. The P copy narrative is dead. The forked over coins, I think that's still something that's in play. Again, I don't agree with. I don't think calling these things failures, or I think the jury's still out on a lot of stuff. Of course, you could say the price too. Hey, was PulseChain a bad investment because the price is not up today? I don't look at it that way. Even the ETH buy price, I think there's probably more that went into buying ETH that way. Sack Wallet buying ETH at a higher price than we know, and maybe we'll know one day. Maybe it'll be obvious one day. But I don't like setting these things up where they're not in this super amazing time as failures or didn't deliver or not a good idea. I don't know. And it's not just about, pretending not to be smarter than the billionaire founder genius guy. I think it's just easy to be like, yep, as of today, the price down. As of today, the P copy narrative didn't take off and bring in all the retail. As of today, PulseChain is just another fork, disappointing investment, all this stuff. I just don't think there's a lot to that. I think it's a very much point in time piece that is very, I would say part of it short-sighted, but then the other part is probably, it doesn't strike me as long-term thinking, which I think is really critical in this as well. I think the long-term, like, hey, things will probably be better than they are today type of deal, because we literally haven't seen anything that the devs or Richard or otherwise may be planning that we have no expectations of. Anything that, set aside the Sack Wallet stuff, all that, all the ETH, all benevolent wells that we believe are around and interested in making these ecosystem pump. Set all that aside. That's like the easy, like, anyone can believe that could happen type of deal. The release of products. I've spent so much time researching, thinking, and speculating on the super app idea. Richard talked about wallet 50 times. Like, it seems like all the different upgrades that could happen for PulseX and all the stuff we may see with PulseChain and all that stuff too. It's not, I don't know. I feel like the biggest criticism is like, well, what if we never see it? And I can't, it seems unreasonable. And I go back to that. Like, it seems unreasonable PulseChain wouldn't get glory. It seems unreasonable. A lot of the, educated guesses of things that may happen in the ecosystem would happen. It seems like that is the, you're reading the biography of this chain. You're reading the chapter in Richard's book, after post glory, and it's like, oh yeah, that totally happened. Yeah. So it's like, why not? And I think the criticisms too of him not being a good guy and twerking too much or like whatever, I just don't think they're very useful to me to think about him either. It doesn't matter how good of a guy he appears to me, even though I think I know, his story and his motivations a lot more than most. Have you read Scivive, by the way? I just don't think it's very useful to judge a founder who is in this guy's category. And not saying he doesn't make mistakes and all that stuff too. I'm just saying I don't think it makes sense to judge him by trying, outrage marketing, all that stuff, by trying his best to make this, to market the products, to gather more people for the tribe, to bring more builders and stuff in, to punch through the noise like, the greatest hits too. I just don't think that it is very useful to think about his, that being a detriment. And it's definitely pros and cons. There's definitely like a spectrum on this. I don't think it's a right or wrong thing to do as far as outreach marketing stuff. I think it was for a purpose, and it grew social media. And yeah, there's some things that came along with that. And I don't think we know the full story on all that. Again, hopefully it comes out on his, maybe it'll come out in High Stakes Part 2 or something like that too. The Glory Run. Yeah, I'm excited to see that come out too. But I don't know, the whole criticism of him as a person, if you really know, I've talked about this on the last RS stream too. I believe he's in it. He wants to make as much money as possible and build as big as community as possible who are aligned around these ideals that he has. And one is saving people in real life with longevity research, make people live longer. One of the greatest things anyone could possibly work on and do. I think that's very hard to criticize too. And he can wait, and he can take the time that he needs to put this stuff together. And we're here trying our best to make things happen. So I don't know. I don't think it's criticizing him as a person. When he says, say thank you in some of the tweets, do you have the visceral reaction to be like, shouldn't you be thanking me? Shouldn't you be, you don't even have to like all the tweets he does to understand that this is bigger than, it's bigger than him. I think that the things he wants to do are bigger than he is. And it's pretty hard to say with, a character larger than life like Richard Hart. But I don't know. I think it's easy to look past that stuff. Once you're, if you're ever on board with the mission. Well, people are never going to be. They're never going to do that. They're never going to care about longevity. They're never going to care about anything but buying low and selling high. And that's hopefully they'll get what they want out of the ecosystem too. But there's a bigger place for people in the community here. And there's bigger ideals, I think, that and bigger things he wants to achieve. So it makes me hesitate to criticize him personally for even when he does things that I don't understand or wouldn't think it's a good idea and all this stuff too. Anyways, back to I took a little bit of detour there, but criticisms. I'll wrap up here in just a couple minutes. Appreciate chat. Can't see all of it right now, but appreciate you. Misappropriated investor funds. That one never really stuck with me. I'm like, why the hell would this billionaire guy, forget he's even a millionaire guy, multimillionaire guy. Why would he use any of the money from the SAC to buy stuff? That seems like the dumbest idea ever. And if you think he's a smart guy, it immediately gets invalidated. Immediately. It makes no sense whatsoever. So it doesn't surprise me. That was not even to prove that. So that was done. They did. Shout out to the watches though. Hope the watches are doing well. I'm not sure where the watches are right now, but I'm pretty sure he spent his own money on that as well. No, not the watches. Bring the watches back. So, and then scamming. I think he kind of summed it up too. Like, people call him a scammer. Who has he taken money from? Has he given people the option to make and lose money? Sure, he founded a cryptocurrency project. That's the same argument you could make for anyone else in the world. So saying Richard cost me money, that doesn't even, I can't think of any rationalization or like data for that. I don't. Yeah. So again, I would just compare that to every other. Anytime somebody calls Richard a scammer, what did he take? I mean, everyone chooses. Again, I know it's probably touchy too, and I feel for everyone out there who have not did well in these market conditions and have believed things that turned out not to be the way they thought they would be, and have put a lot of time and energy and capital and stuff into things and just not wanted to wait that long and just lost hope. Like, it sucks. At the same time, again, any person who creates a product and creates a community, and especially in this kind of complicated atmosphere of crypto, they're not creating a coin, creating a movement, doing sacrifices. It's not, to me, that's not scamming. You're not scamming anyone. Telling people that a coin went up 10,000x and being bullish on your product, it's not scamming people. Doing live streams, traveling around the world, you're writing self-help books, like all that stuff. Like, I don't even want to point to all the cool and good stuff he's did to be a force for good in the world too. he is not a scammer. He's presented an opportunity and everyone presses their own buttons. So I look at it very black and white for that. That's one thing. There's not much on the spectrum for that. If he said things that made people, that led people to believe one thing or another, I mean, again, that's unfortunate. It happens from time to time. Nobody's perfect. Maybe he had good intentions and all that stuff too. But I can't, that doesn't build a case for a scammer to be. It builds a case for imperfect human being who is hopefully going to achieve great things out there. So I hope everyone who participates and just, I hope they make the maddest gains. I hope that people don't FUD themselves out. And what founder doesn't make, again, I guess the last two criticisms too, sacrifice phase, was designed to enrich Richard. I would just say, what founder shouldn't get paid for making a product? And, if not directly, you talked about the OA, you talk about the SAC wallet, all that stuff too. Who even knows? I mean, you could even say that, what does enrich mean? Does it mean give money to spend on luxury goods, or does it mean fund things that over time may benefit the founder and the devs and everyone else, but also to pump the ecosystem in whatever way? And we'll see. We'll find out, what happens with that. If SAC funds and stuff never go into the chain and we do well anyways, I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't that be even a cooler story? It's like we literally, do 10,000x without any of the SAC funds doing anything. I guess the criticism then would be like, what's it going to do with money? It's like, what will satisfy people at that point? It's, if we pump to the moon without the SAC funds ever moving, is that even more epic than them going in? But how does it happen? How does it work? Well, maybe we don't know everything yet. Maybe we can speculate too. And then the last one too, these things have nothing beyond, have no future. They're just here as Richard's toys, all that stuff. That one, I don't know. It's a pretty hard case to make. You could talk about centralization of price versus decentralization of network. I mean, you could criticize, that piece, all that stuff too. Honestly, I think a lot of these plans are bigger than that. I think there are certain things that he believes need to be centralized, and certain things that enable people to get stuff done are better for the network and are better for the community if they have knobs you can turn on. So I don't know. I don't pretend to know everything. It's hard for me to, try to outthink these things too when I don't have all the data. But I speculate a lot of decisions that have been made, a lot of the projects that have been built. I mean, people locking up HEX for 15 years. You see new 5555 stakes and 10-year stakes all the time too. I don't think it's all for nothing. I don't think it's just this, performance. It was a performance arts piece from the documentary. And I think in the end, a lot of people are going to be pleasantly surprised with the PulseChain. So that's all I got for you today. Scivive and 5555. We are out.